This is Cybernet, and I'm Steve Truitt. Today we'll tear up the city streets, have a party with Mario, battle a boxing champion, and race for the checkered flag. It's unbelievable. It's Cybernet. We crash into our show with a new combat racing game in the tradition of Twisted Metal and Jak X. It's constant mayhem where every car comes loaded with a big engine and automatic weapons. Here there are no speed limits and no rules, so strap on your seatbelt and prepare for full auto on the Xbox 360. In the near future, the city of Staunton is held hostage by a mysterious group known only as the Shepherds. As a retired driver, you're coerced by the Shepherds into a series of lethal street races where you're forced to drive and shoot your way to victory at any cost. Luckily, you'll be able to select from a wide variety of modified vehicles to help get the job done. The driving controls are very straightforward and simple to use. While this makes it much easier to jump in and play than the Project Gotham series, it can be almost too simplistic. Plus, there's no real sense of speed. As for combat, you can fire machine guns and straight-ahead missiles and use other weapons like grenades or a rear-firing shotgun. These weapons can all be upgraded throughout the game. The most interesting feature here is the unwreck ability, which allows players to rewind time a few seconds in order to avoid crashes and rectify missed opportunities. This ability to manipulate time is similar to the feature from the Prince of Persia titles, but its application in a racing game is quite intriguing, and for the most part, successful. Sadly, the levels are relatively bland, and most of the city streets are far too similar in appearance. And when you're able to escape the city, there are relatively bland mountain paths with canyon walls on both sides and very little noteworthy scenery. On the plus side, though, the levels are very interactive, and you can crash through or into almost anything. In the end, Full Auto is a decent arcade-style racer that doesn't quite live up to expectations. The graphics are clean, but there are frame rate issues, and the visuals don't stack up to Project Gotham. Also, with the short career mode and online play suffering from lag problems, the game offers little lasting appeal. Unfortunately, Full Auto seems destined to crash and burn. Are you having trouble fighting off the evil alien invasion in Disney's Chicken Little for the PlayStation 2? Thankfully, your pals at Cybernet have found a cheat that should help you clear out all those pesky space invaders. At the main menu, select the extras, then choose the cheat codes option. Line up the pictures in the following order: baseball, 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 and shirt. Now press the enter code. You've just turned into an invincible chicken. Now you can battle wave after wave of bad guys without even losing a feather. Be sure to keep watching Cybernet to get your hands on more helpful cheats. The biggest party of the year has just gotten underway, and you're invited. It's time to gather your friends and take a wild and crazy trip to Mushroom Land in Mario Party 7, landing on the GameCube. In this latest installment of Nintendo's mega popular series, Mario and his pals are back for another round of party excitement. When Mario takes a vacation cruise, he invites all his friends to join him. And this is when the party begins. Happily, there are a few enhancements this time that'll keep the party jumping. Here, it's your goal to win as many of the 86 mini-games as possible. Increasing the madcap madness, now up to 8 players at a time can battle it out for victory. All your favorite characters are on board, with Dry Bones and Birdo as new additions. You can test your reflexes by dodging bullet bills or play hot potato with a bomb-omb. In the main party mode, you can play alone or go all out in 8-player mayhem. This time you also have the option to skip the normal turn-based game board and get right into the mini-games themselves. And once again, the colorful graphics and excellent controls make each challenge a delight. That is, if you can survive a Hammer Brothers onslaught. One of the reasons this series has thrived over the years is its huge variety of truly entertaining games. These range from simplistic challenges such as knocking other players off a platform to more in-depth memory tests. This plethora of mini-games makes certain there's never a shortage of fun, whether you're climbing vines or running through an obstacle course. Now in its 7th year, Mario Party still maintains the playful action that's made it a hit with gamers. Even though each challenge here isn't groundbreaking, the variety of gameplay options and overall fun will keep you coming back for more. While a SpongeBob release recently tried to copy this minigame formula, Mario Party still reigns supreme. Okay, it's time for Cybernet's Top 10 PlayStation 2 games chart. At number 10, have a ball with the world's most elite teams in the ultra-realistic football sim Pro Evolution Soccer 5. Build your reputation as the hottest graffiti artist on the streets in Mark Echo's Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure at 9. Compete in 15 events and strive for international glory in the thrilling Torino 2006 Winter Olympics, skating to the 8th spot. At 7, outrun the competition and the cops in the white-knuckle street racing action of Need for Speed Most Wanted. Join a plucky little chicken and his misfit friends in the zany hijinks of Disney's Chicken Little hatching at number 6. Get in a scrum and get dirty as you lead your club to total supremacy in the brutal action of Rugby 06 at 5. At 4, tour the world and compete in over 35 motor racing styles in the lightning-fast Toka Race Driver 3. Blasting into the 3rd position, lead a highly skilled tactical unit with awesome firepower in the destructive shooter Black. Battle humongous beasts and save a young girl's soul in the mystical adventure Shadow of the Colossus at 2. But boxing its way to the top, it's the hard-hitting action of Fight Night Round 3, checking in as our PS2 number 1. Over the years, Cabela has developed several first-rate hunting titles. In this latest installment, the focus shifts to vicious animal action. We'll see if this change holds up in Dangerous Hunts 2 for the Xbox and PlayStation 2. In this first-person hunting adventure, you assume the role of a traveling hunter in search of the world's most dangerous prey. With regional guides at your side, it's your goal to journey deep into the animal's domain. Here, the roles have been reversed, and the hunter has become the hunted. There are 12 hunting missions to complete, taking you from the outback of Australia to the freezing Siberian tundra. In most challenges, your guide will help you across the terrain, but they aren't skilled hunters, so you must watch out for their well-being, as well as your own. You'll encounter everything from wild boars to deadly hyenas. There's a nice assortment of weapons at your disposal. Handguns and rifles, as well as arrows and spears, can be utilized to overpower a charging beast. There's also a slow motion feature, which can help you land a perfect kill shot when the animals get too close. Just make sure to watch your back for lions. One of the biggest drawbacks here is the confusing objectives and the difficulty in finding certain animals. In a rescue mission, the location of the person you're saving is sometimes unclear, which can be quite frustrating. There are a few unlockable levels to discover by shooting hidden stumps, but this alone doesn't add much replay value. Overall, Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2 is far from a true hunting game. Since most animals will jump out and attack you first, there's very little strategy or skills needed to make the kill. So while there are solid graphics and gameplay elements, shooter fans might want to hunt elsewhere. Coming up, we trade blows with Muhammad Ali, head to boot camp, and do some high-speed ridge racing. From the developers at EA Sports, prepare yourself for the most realistic console sports title you've ever seen. It's time to strap on your gloves and step into the ring with the most recent edition of the acclaimed boxing franchise, Fight Night Round 3 on the Xbox, 360, and PS2. One year ago, EA scored a major hit with the second Fight Night title. The introduction of an analog stick control changed the face of boxing games forever, and this year the series returns with even better controls and enhanced graphics. When played on the 360 with an HD television, one could easily mistake this for a televised boxing match. The visuals and character animations are sharp as a tack. The attention to detail is one of the most striking aspects of this game. Crowds are rendered in full 3D, and the lighting effects are beautiful. You can accurately track a boxer's fatigue by the way he moves around the ring and see the pain in a boxer's face when he's hurt. As a result, the developers have removed the heads-up display meters showing health and stamina, which helps create an incredibly immersive gaming experience.
Great stamina.
The analog control scheme returns, allowing you to throw punches by tapping the right analog stick in specific directions. This lets you pull off jabs, crosses, and uppercuts with ease. Instead of just pressing a button, a certain amount of finesse is required to properly execute a punch. And while you can still throw devastating haymakers, they've been slowed down to make for a much more balanced fighting experience. New this year is the Total Punch control, which allows you to throw a traditional jab and 2 additional punches. The Stun Punch opens up a first-person mini-game where you can only try to block incoming hits as your opponent tries to mash you. There's also the Flash KO, which immediately drains an opponent's health and leaves him vulnerable to a knockout. But while these new attacks are extremely powerful, they're also quite slow, leaving the attacker open to vicious counterpunches. The career mode of the game lacks depth, and it would be nice to see a few more big names available to play. But aside from those concerns, Fight Night Round 3 delivers a near flawless experience. The graphics, controls, and gameplay combine to make this the sports title to beat for 2006. When it comes to boxing, Fight Night delivers a knockout punch. Are you looking for a new way to take out your enemies in Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones for the PlayStation 2? We have a great cheat that will let you defend your city and embarrass your foes all at the same time. Go to the pause screen and enter the following code: up, down, left, right, circle, square, circle, and square. You've just turned your secondary weapon into a swordfish. Now you can slap those evil guards silly and then grill up a tasty dinner afterwards. Make sure to keep watching Cybernet for more fun cheats. It's time to suit up, soldier! You've got a war to win as a member of America's Army, the world's mightiest fighting force. Originally designed as a video game for the PC, this first-person shooter has now been overhauled and reincarnated as Rise of a Soldier for the Xbox. While many current military shooters strive for realism, this game takes authenticity to a whole new level. During the production process, the Ubisoft team worked closely with U.S. Army Special Forces officers to make the experience as accurate as possible. The developers even traveled to an Army base to receive training in tactics and weapon use.
In Special Forces, we train people in military tactics. We teach them how to do this. And that was a big part of what I was doing with them, was teach them this is how we really do it. And then from there, we work together to find a way to bridge that into a fun game.
We really work with the Army. They help us make sure everything is authentic and realistic. This is down to the weapons, the uniforms, the dialogue the soldiers have on the ground. It's different mission types that they do, what they would do, what they wouldn't do. All of this just trying to make it as authentic as possible.
Once you've created a character, you then begin an extensive training regimen that includes everything from running an obstacle course to firing a weapon. You'll also learn how to work with a team when securing buildings, attacking a designated target, or backing up other divisions. With enough practice and expertise, you'll rise through the ranks to become a special ops soldier or even a squad leader.
Hello, soldier. Let's get you checked in. Today, you'll be trained on the M16A4 rifle.
Along the way, you'll take on various roles, including rifleman, grenadier, machine gunner, and sniper. Each position requires specific expertise, so you'll need to master each position in order to complete assignments. No matter where you go and what weapon you use, though, everything looks and responds just like their real-life counterparts. Consequently, when the enemy fires at you and bullets whiz by, it affects your accuracy, making it tougher to hit targets. Much like a sports game, this title also allows you to improve your abilities using an RPG-like progression. Once you've completed missions, you earn skill points which can be used to upgrade various attributes.
So some of the areas that the player can invest some skill points in Rise of the Soldier are life-saving, accuracy, physical fitness. This allows the player to play the game his or her way, to make his or her soldier in the eyes of how he or she sees fit.
It's unfortunate that the push towards authenticity actually ends up harming this game in the long run, resulting in slow-paced action and frustrating shooting mechanics. America's Army proves that sometimes developers can make gameplay too realistic. Plus, the graphics are slightly muddy, and the objectives are rather ordinary. However, despite these problems, Rise of a Soldier is an ambitious, very deep, and immersive shooter that falls just short of its lofty goals. Here at Cybernet, we're always ready for a good fight, and they don't get much better than this. Draw your sword and hone your skills as we take on Soulcalibur 3, our game of the week, slashing its way to the PS2. A group of warriors is once again drawn into a struggle chronicling the eternal battle between two mystical swords, the evil Soul Edge and the heroic Soulcalibur. This time, after Soul Edge's defeat in the last game, the character Siegfried has finally separated from his dark self, Nightmare, and embarked on a quest to destroy the evil weapon once and for all. If you've never experienced this series, get ready for the best weapon-based fighting simulator on the market. For those returning to the franchise, not much has changed, but the fighting is as good as ever, with enhanced graphics and tougher challenges. Almost all the characters have returned from previous episodes, including some from the original game called Soul Edge. Most of the moves and combos are still the same, but some have been altered to make them easier or harder to achieve. The ability to choose alternative versions of weapons and armor has returned as well. Along with new levels and plot lines, there are 3 new characters, and while they are firmly integrated into the story, they have no unique qualities. The big addition to this game is the new array of customizable options such as altering character colors and creating new warriors from points you earn while completing challenges. There's also a new story mode added called Chronicles of the Sword, which lets you battle through an RTS-style game to conquer a kingdom. So if you've got an itching for some sword-swinging, high-flying action, give Soulcalibur 3 a try. The fighting elements truly are amazing, making this our Game of the Week. Beginning with its debut in the arcades to its jump onto PlayStation consoles, the Ridge Racer franchise has been regarded as one of the best racers around. Now the series makes its debut on the Xbox 360 with its 6th edition. In this racing simulation, your skills behind the wheel are put to the test in over 15 courses around the world. Like most racing titles, the objective is simple: win or go home. The more races you win, the better cars you can choose, all on your way to being crowned the best of the best. Becoming an expert at drifting into turns is critical to success. When you approach a turn, you must let go of the gas and slide around the bend. While this sounds simple enough, mastering this technique isn't easy. Different classes of cars have various drift dynamics, so it's important to discover which style suits you best. Adding some new excitement to the series is a nitrous meter. You can fill this meter by effectively executing drifts around turns. Once this meter is full, you can unleash powerful speed blasts which will send you screeching past your opponents. Sadly, even when firing off nitrous boosts, the race never really provides a true sensation of speed or intensity. Thankfully, this title takes advantage of the 360's online capabilities. In Global Time Attack mode, you can race against ghost cars of record setters around the world. This is a welcome addition to the game and allows you to learn from other drivers. Also, you can take on a friend in some over-the-top split-screen racing. Overall, this edition retains the solid handling, graphics, and gameplay elements that have made this series successful. While this formula works, we would have liked a bit more challenge in the actual racing, and of course, more speed. Despite its flaws, though, Ridge Racer 6 makes a successful jump to next-gen consoles. It's now time for us to race on out of here, but Cybernet promises to be back soon with more games and features from around the world. Don't forget to keep in touch via email. So until we meet again, here's more super spy action from Aeon Flux, compliments of Cybernet.
I would have never gone, and so